Hey everyone, Lawrence here with some random thoughts about Callisto Protocol. I guess specifically the reviews. It's currently at a 69, nice, on Metacritic for Xbox Series X and a 72 for the PlayStation 5. I played it and I really liked it, like a lot. And I thought it was a really well-made game too. That doesn't necessarily mean everyone's gonna like it though. I thought it was pretty well crafted for what it was, and it was what it was trying to be, pretty confidently. All right. Jeez. I think this game, more than most, kind of begs the question of what a review score really represents, especially at these numbers. I think if that number represents how likely people are to like a game, then that kind of feels right. But I think if a review score is an appraisal of how well a game is made, then it seems a bit low. I can see why people would have frustrations with it, and I kind of get it too. As a game, its design is pretty out of vogue with where games have been, especially AAA games, for the last 10 years or so. That kind of brings up another topic though. I'm curious. I feel like the consolidation of AAA game presentation and the experience had within like mass market AAA games, I think that meant that people start to associate quality with those particular tropes. What I mean by that is games that maybe don't guide you so much, or games that don't really butter you through the experience. That's an approach I think that's really common with AAA games. They kind of like make sure that you don't have any bad feelings. It's possible for a game to intentionally maybe frustrate you a little bit, even through its gameplay. It actually reminded me a lot of Scorn, even though I think they're kind of on opposite ends of the survival horror spectrum in terms of their intensity and their experience. But Scorn didn't have a glowing triangle telling you where to go, or like press triangle to activate Scorn Sight kind of feature. And I thought it was a very intentional design decision. It leans into the game's concept, which is all about wandering around in this Geiger-esque, penis-laced nightmare escape. But the consequence of that is some players get lost, and some players get frustrated, and some players maybe don't finish. I think it's pretty daring to have the combat tuned like it is, and to have it as punishing as it is. I think it's banking on a rising tide in games that are willing to be like mechanically intense and difficult. Does that make the game bad? I don't know. I think the derivative question then is the bar of quality for games set by how many people have a friction-free entertainment experience. I think that's pretty subjective, and I think it comes down to how much grit people like in their meals. I'm just delighted that games like Scorn and Callisto Protocol are being made. Games that have the audacity to frustrate the player. It was super cool. Oh no, fuck! No, son of a bitch, no! Oh, Lord, why? Oh, man, right in front of the door. Then again, I'm particularly resilient to video game frustration, but not in real life, which is odd. That's a topic for another newsletter, though. But I got some cool stuff coming up this week on the stream. I'm starting my celebration of Yakuzasmas. I'm gonna play through all the Yakuzas, which, knowing the pace I play through games, I'm probably gonna maybe get through Yakuza 0 before the end of the year. But it's a dark crime of mine. Somehow Like a Dragon is the only Yakuza I've actually finished, despite playing a fair amount of them. I played most of them. But it's time to fix that, so I'm starting Yakuza 0. It's great. Also, this Thursday is the Game Awards. Bruce and I are gonna team up for a little drunk stream of it. We're gonna come up with a drinking game for the Game Awards. Always fun and often dangerous to invent drinking games for events you haven't even seen yet. So that might get really sloppy. It usually does. And I love that. I love sharing those experiences. And apart from that, I picked up the Mega Man X series again for some reason. I've been replaying through that, and that's really fun. So that's the big stuff I got going on this week. Hope to see you in a stream, especially that Thursday one. That's going to be a lot of fun. But if not, thank you for your time. I'll catch you next time.